There's a conversation happening right now. It's happening in your mind, in your heart, in the deepest part of your soul. It's the conversation between who you are and who you were supposed to become. And if you're honest with yourself, really honest, you'll admit that conversation has been haunting you for years. You made promises to yourself once. Powerful promises. Life-changing promises. Promises that kept you awake at night with excitement, that made your heart race with possibility, that filled you with an unstoppable energy. But somewhere along the way, you broke those promises. You betrayed the most important person in your life, yourself. Stay with me because what you're about to discover in the next 15 minutes might be the most important realization of your entire life. It could be the moment you stop running from who you're meant to be and finally, start becoming them. Before we dive deep into this transformation, hit that subscribe button, leave a like if this resonates with your soul, and share your thoughts in the comments because this journey we're about to take together could change everything. What you're about to hear isn't just motivation, it's a mirror. And that mirror is going to show you the truth about the life you promised yourself. Let's begin. There's a version of you that exists in the quiet moments before sleep. A version that whispers dreams into the darkness, makes promises to tomorrow, and swears that this time will be different. That version of you believed in something magnificent. That version of you had a vision so clear, so powerful, that it made your heart race with possibility. But somewhere between the alarm clock and the mirror, between the first excuse and the 100th compromise, you forgot. You forgot the life you promised to yourself. Listen to me closely. The most dangerous betrayal isn't when someone else breaks their promise to you. It's when you break the promise you made to yourself. It's when you look at that person in the mirror and realize you become a stranger to your own dreams. You once stood at the crossroads of your life and declared war on mediocrity. You once looked at your reflection and said, "I will not settle. I will not accept less than I deserve. I will become everything I'm capable of becoming." You made a pact with your future self, a sacred agreement written in hope and sealed with determination. But life happened. Obstacles appeared. People told you to be realistic. The world whispered that your dreams were too big, too bold, too impossible. And slowly, quietly, without even noticing, you began to negotiate with your own potential. You started making deals with your dreams, trading pieces of your vision for temporary comfort. Here's what nobody tells you about giving up on yourself: it doesn't happen all at once. It happens one small compromise at a time. One "I'll start tomorrow" at a time. One "maybe I'm not cut out for this" at a time. You don't wake up one day and abandon your dreams. You slowly, gradually, quietly let them slip away while you're busy making excuses. You tell yourself you're being practical. You convince yourself you're being mature. You rationalize that you're just adapting to reality. But deep down, in the quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts, you know the truth. You know you're betraying the most important person in your life, the person you used to be, the person who believed in the impossible. And with each betrayal, something dies inside you. With each compromise, you lose a piece of your soul. With each excuse, you become more distant from the person who once dared to dream. You become a stranger to yourself, living someone else's definition of a reasonable life while your true life remains unlived. But today, right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can continue living as a shadow of who you were meant to be, or you can remember. You can reconnect with that person who dared to dream, who believed in the impossible, who refused to accept the status quo. The life you promised yourself is still waiting. It's been waiting patiently, faithfully, hopefully. It's been watching you stumble, watching you fall, watching you make excuses, and it's still there. Still believing in you even when you stopped believing in yourself. But here's what's breaking my heart: you've convinced yourself that you're too late. You've bought into the lie that dreams have expiration dates, that potential diminishes with age, that failure is final. You've accepted the cruel fiction that second chances don't exist, that comeback stories are for other people, that transformation is only possible for those who never lost their way. You think you've missed your chance. You think it's too late. You think you're too old, too broken, too far behind. Listen to me, the only time it's too late is when you're dead. Until then, every sunrise is a new opportunity to honor the promise you made to yourself. Your dreams don't have an expiration date. Your potential doesn't diminish with age. Your worth doesn't decrease because you've failed before. The only thing that changes is your willingness to fight for what you know you deserve. But let me tell you something about that willingness. It's not gone. It's not dead. It's not lost forever. It's buried under layers of disappointment, suffocated by years of playing small, hidden beneath decades of other people's expectations. But it's still there. Still alive. Still waiting for you to remember. Look at your life right now. Look at where you are versus where you want it to be. Feel that gap. Don't run from it. Don't minimize it. Don't rationalize it away. Feel the full weight of the distance between your current reality and your promised future. Let it hurt. Let it motivate you. Let it remind you of what's at stake. Because here's the truth that will set you free: you are not stuck. You are not trapped. You are not condemned to live a life of quiet desperation. You are one decision away from a completely different existence. You are one commitment away from remembering who you really are. But that decision, that commitment, it requires something from you that you haven't been willing to give. It requires you to stop managing your disappointment and start managing your discipline. It requires you to stop being comfortable with your excuses and start being obsessed with your potential. The person you promised to become isn't some fantasy version of yourself. It's the real you. The authentic you. The you that exists beneath all the fear, all the doubt, all the conditioning that told you to play small. That person is still there, waiting for you to stop making excuses and start making moves. But listen to me carefully, that person won't wait forever. Not because they don't love you, but because they love you too much to watch you waste your life. Every day you delay is another day they grow more distant. Every excuse you make is another wall between who you are and who you're meant to be. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can hit the snooze button on your dreams, or you can rise up and honor the promise you made to yourself. You can choose the easy path of comfortable misery, or you can choose the difficult path of purposeful struggle. And yes, it will be difficult. It will be uncomfortable. It will require you to do things you don't want to do, to become someone you've never been, to face fears you've been running from your entire life. It will demand that you sacrifice the person you've been for the person you're meant to become. Because struggle is inevitable. You're going to struggle whether you chase your dreams or abandon them. You're going to face challenges whether you're building the life you want or settling for the life you have. The only difference is this: when you struggle for something that matters, when you fight for the life you promised yourself, the struggle has meaning. The pain has purpose. The sacrifice has value. But when you struggle just to survive, just to get by, just to make it through another day in a life that doesn't inspire you, that struggle is empty. That pain is pointless. That sacrifice is wasted. And here's what's tragic: you've become an expert at meaningless struggle. You've mastered the art of suffering without purpose. You've perfected the skill of enduring pain that produces nothing, fighting battles that lead nowhere, investing energy in outcomes that don't matter. You complain about your circumstances while refusing to change them. You worry about problems while avoiding solutions. You stress about the future while neglecting the present. You've turned struggle into a lifestyle instead of using it as a tool for transformation. You have a finite amount of time on this earth. Every day you spend living below your potential is a day you can never get back. Every moment you waste being someone you're not is a moment stolen from who you could become. The clock is ticking. Not to scare you, but to wake you up. Not to panic you, but to energize you. Not to overwhelm you, but to remind you that time is your most precious resource, and you're spending it either building the life you promised yourself or betraying that promise one day at a time. Think about it. How many years have you spent saying, someday? How many months have you wasted saying, when the time is right? How many weeks have you thrown away saying, I'll start Monday? How many days have you lost saying, tomorrow will be different? Your tomorrows are becoming yesterdays, and your yesterdays are becoming regrets. Your somedays are becoming nevers, and your dreams are becoming memories of what you once thought possible. Your dreams are not selfish. Your ambitions are not unrealistic. Your desire to become more than you are right now is not arrogant. It's necessary. It's your responsibility. It's what you owe to the person who believed in you when no one else did, the person you used to be. You owe it to that person who stayed up late planning, dreaming, hoping. You owe it to that person who looked in the mirror and saw not just who they were, but who they could become. You owe it to that person who refused to accept that this is all there is. But you also owe it to the people around you. Your family needs to see what's possible when someone refuses to give up on themselves. Your children need to witness what happens when someone chooses growth over comfort, progress over safety, potential over mediocrity. The world needs what's inside you. There are problems only you can solve, contributions only you can make, impact only you can create. But none of that happens while you're playing small, while you're hiding from your potential, while you're betraying the promise you made to yourself. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. Stop waiting for circumstances to align. Stop waiting for someone else to believe in you before you believe in yourself. The life you promised yourself doesn't require anyone else's approval. It doesn't need external validation. It doesn't depend on perfect conditions or favorable circumstances. It only requires one thing, your decision to stop betraying yourself and start becoming yourself. But here's what that decision really means. It means waking up when you don't want to. It means showing up when you don't feel like it. It means pushing forward when everything inside you wants to quit. It means choosing discipline over comfort, growth over safety, potential over mediocrity. It means having conversations you've been avoiding. It means taking risks you've been afraid to take. It means facing truths you've been running from. It means becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable, familiar with being uncertain, at peace with being afraid. Right now, as you hear these words, something inside you is stirring. Something that's been dormant, something that's been waiting, something that's been hoping against hope that you would remember. That's not just motivation you're feeling. That's recognition. That's your true self calling you home. The person you promised to become is not some distant possibility. They're not some future version that might exist someday if everything goes perfectly. They're you. Right now. They're who you are when you stop making excuses and start making progress. They're who you are when you stop negotiating with your potential and start demanding excellence from yourself. You don't need to become someone else. You need to become who you already are. You don't need to find yourself. You need to stop hiding from yourself. You don't need to discover your purpose. You need to stop running from it. But becoming who you already are requires you to let go of who you've been pretending to be. It requires you to release the safe, small, comfortable version of yourself that everyone expects. It requires you to disappoint some people, to outgrow some relationships, to leave some places behind. It requires you to trust that the person you're becoming is worth more than the person you've been. It requires faith that your future self is more important than your current comfort. It requires belief that your potential is more valuable than your present circumstances. The life you promised yourself is not just a dream. It's a destiny. It's not just a wish. It's a responsibility. It's not just something you want. It's something you owe to yourself, to your family, to the world that needs what only you can give. So here's your moment of truth. Here's where you decide. Right here, right now, listening to these words, feeling that stirring in your soul, remembering the promises you made in the quiet moments when it was just you and your dreams. Are you going to continue betraying yourself? Are you going to keep making excuses? Are you going to keep settling for less than you know you deserve? Are you going to keep living as a shadow of who you were meant to be? Or are you going to remember? Are you going to rise? Are you going to honor the promise you made to yourself? Are you going to become the person you always knew you could be? The choice is yours. But choose quickly. Because every moment you hesitate is another moment stolen from the life you promised yourself. And that life is waiting. It's been waiting patiently, faithfully, hopefully. Don't keep it waiting any longer. The person you promised to become is calling your name. It's time to answer. It's time to remember. It's time to become who you always knew you could be. Your promised life is waiting. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Subscribe for more truth that transforms, and remember, you are one decision away from everything you've ever wanted. Make that decision today.